Okay, so this is my chicken cooker. Uh, at this point, it's pretty much a giant mixing bowl. I thought I was done with this, but then I started having more ideas, and I wanted to get an item elevator coming up through the center and have a giant bowl, and have the item dispensers spew lava. A lot of thought went into this. I was able to accomplish it by having item dispensers going down, or observers going down. So there's pillars of observers, and they power two item dispensers, and it limited my ability to use redstone because there's water involved. There needs to be that column involved. So this was the only way I had access to get into those things, and they're controlled from below. I also have targets. I did try and use the target block, and at first it was activating my item dispensers when it was getting shot at, and that's something I did not want to do. And they also kind of look kind of big and cartoony, so I just left them on item frames, and that seems to work out well. Maybe if I get a map thing, I can make more of a circular bullseye, but I think this is good enough as is. Uh, all of the stuff over here is the original. Nothing's really changed. There are more hoppers now to capture everything on the sides. And you'll notice I have mud everywhere, and you cannot see the chicken's feet at the bottom because they're sinking a little bit into that mud. Even though the mud is the same level as the grass, everything sinks down, which means eggs sink down into it. And because the eggs sink down into it, the hoppers are able to collect the eggs without a minecart underneath of a solid block like this. That means I no longer have to run up here along the edges and collect eggs. And the chickens now look like they're in a more natural habitat rather than standing on a bunch of hoppers. I did start adding a giant chicken statue up there, which actually does lay eggs. You'll see it. There's a item shooter that just shot an egg into the center there. So that's why I have all these targets. I have two more that I want to put over here. That's the other reason I wanted to make an item column in the center so that I could have item dispensers shooting at this from all four angles and just filling up the big giant chicken bowl. There is some complex redstone in the bottom. Well, it's not really that complex. It was just it just took a while for me to figure out exactly what I needed to do. A lot of trial and error. But I can show you what I did in case you're interested in doing this yourself. Why can't I go in here? Come on. Let me go down. Can I not go down? What is going on? Okay. So, as I said earlier, I have two pillars of observers going up to activate those things. Oh, and you'll notice it just activated. We have the item dispenser activating. And you'll notice here there's a signal that comes through two different sets of repeaters. And the problem is if the signal just goes through one set, the observers notice this come on and come off, and the lava doesn't change its state from where it started out as. So I have this other line that's really short. That the signal comes through here first, and then it comes through here. And apparently it's such a quick delay that the observer isn't able to react to one of them, but it is able to react to another. So it activates 3 different times instead of 4. And that gets me to change the state. So you'll hear like 3 clicks when it turns on and 3 clicks when it turns off. It's not perfect, but that's what I got. And then I have this long delay. So the first signal comes through this observer, and the second signal finally comes over and is noticed by this observer. And the two observers send a signal saying, "Hey, it's on," and then, "Hey, it's off." So they send out two pulses, and this changes those two pulses into 3 pulses in a way. All right, so if that makes any sense, awesome. Still haven't made full heads or tails out of it, but you know it works. Found out here I can just sit and collect eggs whenever I need eggs, because usually this guy over here hardly has anything. This pretty much tells me how many times the lava has activated. I can close this. Got a nice little observation to the back entrance. I've already started clearing out the area for these other 2 modules to be set up soonish. We're going to go ahead and go to the second module that I've set up. And it's going to be the big giant chicken up there. So let's go ahead and make our way over here. So I went and did so much stuff to get this set up. I've went to some icebergs, made a lot of ice. I've created an iron golem farm, a villager farm, all kinds of stuff. There's lots of hoppers, so I have no need of iron anymore. I've got all the iron I could ever want, and then some. So here's the poop chute. So eggs come down here and right into there. We got a back entrance up here. This is the new way that I dispense of items, is I feed right into the comparator and then have a repeater go into the back of the item dispenser or dropper. Mainly this guy creates some kind of quick loop, and that keeps activating in a cycle until this guy's empty, so that's much better. He seems to run much quicker. You can see I have this solid blocks here. The item dispenser likes to, or dropper likes to make things go up in the air. So they kind of like slow everything down. I have a half slab so that things will actually not bypass and land on the other side. I ran out of room, so I had to give this chicken a tail. Minecraft chickens don't normally have this back end tail, so that's what I added. Usually I come here, throw my eggs in there, and if a chicken does land up here, I just leave the trapdoor open. Eventually they find their way in. All of my little supplies are in here, and there's nothing really in here except just to look out over the little egg laying facility down there. This was my first attempt at an iron golem farm. Did not go far. I needed a place with villagers nearby. I started building a giant long railway and I came up short. And it was just easier to build one next to a town and get started that way. Well, I think that's about it. Yeah, I got my jack-o'-lanterns to light up the area. And I don't know if this bowl has already activated, but we can activate it to show you what that looks like now. Let's see, so let's just throw an egg in there. And you'll see it go up. Soon. There it is. It's going over. It just got detected. And there's the lava. Goes out 4 blocks. And then it gets sucked back in. there we go. All that's left is little baby chickens. Yeah. So I have a few more things left to do. I want to put some kind of station over here and over here, but I want them to be different than what I've already set up. Just have to think of some ideas. But that's about it. So, fun stuff.